The most innovative smartphone company is back as Huawei returns to one of the best smartphones of the year. Let's dive in. How's it going, guys? Max here. So we all know that Huawei got hit with the US ban that prevents them from working with US companies, Google and Android included. And ever since then, Huawei has just not been the same anymore. Like ever since the Huawei P60, which was the first device Huawei released without the Google services, the company has slowly been declining with their influence on the market. But I think that's about to change because a few days ago, Huawei announced some bleeding edge flagship devices with the Huawei P60 series, and gosh, do these devices look outstanding. Like, just check out the design. Now, Huawei also unveiled the Mate X30, which is a Galaxy Z Fold 4 killer, but that's for another video. So this year, Huawei actually introduced three variants: the Huawei P60, P60 Pro, and the P60 Art, which is like the Ultra, yeah, the best of the best. And now all three models actually look the same on the outside, except from the P60 Art, which has a different art design around the camera rings, and all devices have the same screen size, 6.67 inches, and of course it's a 120Hz Full HD Plus display, meaning that the display has some of the best colors out there, and it's also one of the most fluid, even better than the iPhone 14. Now the device has another display fingerprint sensor, and Huawei even brought back the quad curve design, which in my opinion is the very best out there. Now the screen and design actually looks very great, like I'm not doubting that, but the major highlight of these devices are the cameras, because oh my days, the camera improvements on these devices are just massive. Like, starting with the fact that the main camera has the same megapixels as the latest iPhone at 48 megapixels. This is a new RYYB sensor that brings in more light, and hear this, it starts at f1.4 all the way up to f4.0 variable aperture, simply meaning that it can close the sensor in scenarios where there's too much light and open the sensor so wide when there's little to no light to get every single detail it can, similar to something that we saw with the Galaxy S9 Plus in 2018. So all three variants have the 48 megapixel main camera, and as always new sensor will result to way better photos and also way better night shots, since Huawei is just the king of night photography. Now if you already own a Huawei P60 or P60 Pro and you would like to get some cool cases, I actually found a very good vendor on AliExpress that sells really cheap and very good cases. So I'll leave his link down in the comment section, and also if you want to pick up the device, I'll also leave the links down in the comment section, but we'll get to the pricing later. Now back to the video. So speaking of night shots, Huawei also did something cool with the telephoto, or should I say zoom lens. So the base P60 gets a 12 megapixel 3.5x zoom lens, while the P60 Pro and P60 Art get the way better 48 megapixel telephoto, and these lenses will be able to take in more light to push the industry standard of night shots to the very next level. Now the cameras are capable of 200x zoom. You heard me very well, but sadly I didn't get any samples whatsoever, so I'll make a video on that once I get one. Then the ultra wide camera on the P60 and P60 Pro are 13 megapixel lenses, but on the P60 Art it's a 40 megapixel ultra wide lens. Wow. So meaning that on the P60 Art it comes with a triple rear camera setup that are all at least 40 megapixels and above, something that even the latest and greatest Samsung Galaxy S23 Ultra or iPhone 14 Pro Max doesn't offer. Now as always, Huawei has simply been the best when it comes to the night shots with the ultra wide camera, even with general shots on the ultra wide camera, with the only issue in the past being that they are actually not wide enough to be considered as one of the best. So I really hope that they fix that this year. And also with the new Huawei XD Fusion Pro engine, I think we won't have to worry about how the photos would look like. Now I think the major worry should be when it comes to the video recording department, because Huawei didn't mention anything about it except the fact that it can shoot up to 4K 60, which all flagship devices since 2018 can actually do. So I don't think there will be major improvements there. Now over to the two reasons why you might hate this phone or might not buy it. Now firstly, it's using an older chipset, which is the Snapdragon 8 Plus Gen 1 4G, and don't get me wrong, it's actually still a very good processor, and I mean it's still the 6th fastest mobile processor in the world, but considering the fact that most flagships are actually using the more powerful Snapdragon 8 Gen 2 and the phone also doesn't have 5G, I really don't think that most people outside China would want to actually have this as their main device. Now the second one, which is actually the elephant in the room, is that there are no Google services, and though you could still actually work this around, and I wish it could actually be way easier, but with all the compromises and all that, and also the starting price of $800 for the base model and $1,600 for the Art, even though yes, the base model of the Art comes with 512 gigabytes, but $1,600 is still a lot with all the compromises involved. So I'm really not sure if people would actually want to buy this idea. Anyways, tell me what you think about everything I've said in this video down in the comment section. Affiliate links will be down in the description or in the comment section. Thanks for watching, and I'll catch you next time. Peace.